I went in for one thing, Jimmy.
How much did you spend?
We're moving on.
Welcome to English for Everyone, the podcast where two Londoners chat about real life in England and you pick up natural English along the way. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Esther, and today we are talking about shopping in London, one of my absolute favourite topics.
I gathered that from the intro, Esther.
Oh, stop it. But honestly, shopping in London is a whole experience. It is not just buying things, it is a day out.
That is a very London thing to say. Right, so before we dive in, let's set the scene for our listeners. London has some of the most famous shopping streets in the entire world. You have got Oxford Street in the West End, you have got King's Road in Chelsea, Carnaby Street, Covent Garden, and then of course you have got the big shopping centres like Westfield in Stratford.
Westfield Stratford, that place is enormous. I went there on a Saturday once and I nearly got lost. It has got hundreds of shops under one roof. You could genuinely spend the entire day there.
Which, knowing you, Esther, you probably did.
I plead the fifth. Now, for our listeners learning English, the key vocabulary to understand is the difference between a high street shop and a designer shop. Jimmy, can you explain that?
Of course. So when British people say the high street, they mean the main shopping area of a town or city with ordinary, everyday shops. Think Marks and Spencer, Next, H&M, Primark. These are affordable, accessible brands that most people shop in regularly.
Exactly. And then you have got your designer shops. Those are the luxury brands. Think Harrods in Knightsbridge or Selfridges on Oxford Street. You will find Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, beautiful things, very, very expensive things.
Window shopping, as they say.
Window shopping means you look at the items in the shop window or you browse inside, but you do not actually buy anything, usually because the prices make your eyes water.
Now let's talk about language inside a shop. This is very practical for our listeners. Esther, what would someone say if they need help finding something?
Great question. So, the most natural thing to say to a shop assistant is, "Excuse me, could you help me?" Or, "Excuse me, I'm looking for something." And they will usually say, "Of course, what are you looking for?" Or, "How can I help?"
And if you want to know if something comes in a different size, you would say, do you have this in a larger size? Or do you have this in a medium?
And if you want to try something on, you say, "Can I try this on, please?" And they will direct you to the fitting rooms. In British English, we usually say fitting rooms, not dressing rooms, though both are understood.
Very good. Now, one situation that catches a lot of people out is when they need to return something. Esther, have you ever had to return something?
Have I ever? So last winter, I bought a coat from a shop on Oxford Street. Beautiful coat. Got it home, tried it on again under my actual lighting, and it was the wrong color entirely. Back it went.
What did you say at the returns desk?
So the phrase you need is, "I'd like to return this, please." And the shop assistant will ask, "Do you have your receipt?" Always keep your receipt. They may also ask, "What is the reason for the return?" And you can say, "It does not fit," or "It is not what I expected," or "I changed my mind."
In England, you have legal rights as a consumer. If an item is faulty, meaning it is broken or damaged, you are entitled to a full refund. If you simply changed your mind, the shop's own returns policy applies. Many shops offer 28 days for returns, but always check.
And online shopping has its own rules. When you buy something online, you generally have 14 days to return it, even if there is nothing wrong with it. That is the law in the United Kingdom.
Now let's talk about something that makes every British shopper's heart sing, the sales.
Oh, yes, the sales are serious business in this country. The biggest one is the Boxing Day sale, which starts on the 26th of December. People queue outside shops from the early hours of the morning.
I have never done that and I never will.
I did it once in my 20s, never again. But the language around sales is really useful. So you will see signs saying up to 50% off, or was £20, now £10, or half price, or simply sale.
And a word you hear a lot in British English when something is good value is bargain. If I find a shirt that was £40 and now it is £12, I might say that is a real bargain. Or even, I got a great bargain today.
And marked down is another useful phrase. It means the price has been reduced. So you might say, "These shoes have been marked down from £80 to 40." And on that note, Jimmy, how much is a quid?
A quid. Now that is a very British word. A quid is slang for £1. So if something costs £5, it costs £5. It is informal, but you will hear it everywhere. On the market, in the pub, in conversation.
Markets. Now we have to talk about London's markets because they are absolutely iconic. Portobello Road Market in Notting Hill is famous all over the world. It runs on Saturdays and you will find antiques, vintage clothing, food stalls, and so much more.
And Borough Market near London Bridge is perhaps London's most famous food market. It has been running in some form since the 11th century. You can find incredible food from all over the world: fresh bread, artisan cheese, street food, you name it.
The language at a market is slightly different to a regular shop. At a food stall, you might say, "Can I get two of those, please?" Or "How much is this?" The trader, that is the person selling, might say, "Two for a fiver, love," which means two items for £5.
Love and mate are two very common informal terms of address you will hear from traders and in everyday British conversation. Love is used more in London and the South. Mate is used almost everywhere.
Now let's talk about charity shops, because they are a very British institution. A charity shop sells second-hand items, things that people have donated, and all the money goes to a charity. You can find books, clothes, furniture, all sorts.
They are brilliant places to find unique things for very little money. And the phrase second hand simply means something that has already been owned and used by someone else, not brand new.
On the other end of the spectrum, there is online shopping. And in Britain, online shopping is enormous. Millions of people shop on sites like Amazon, ASOS, and Next every single day.
The useful vocabulary here includes add to basket, that is the British way of saying add to cart, checkout, delivery address, estimated delivery date, and tracking number, which you use to follow where your parcel is.
And if your parcel does not arrive, you would contact customer service and say, "My order has not arrived," or "My parcel is showing as delivered, but I have not received it." Very useful phrases to know.
Now, one more thing we should cover, because it is very common in British supermarkets and larger shops, is the self-checkout. Esther, what do you think of self-checkouts?
I have a complicated relationship with self-checkout. The machine always seems to tell me there is an unexpected item in the bagging area, every single time.
That message is infamous. An unexpected item in the bagging area means the machine sensors have detected something it did not expect on the packing surface. It usually just needs a shop assistant to come and press a button.
And you can scan your items, pay by card or by phone, and leave without ever speaking to anyone, though the machines do speak to you, usually in a very calm, slightly passive-aggressive voice.
The phrase contactless payment is very important in modern British shopping. Most British shops now accept contactless payments, where you simply tap your bank card or phone against a card reader. No need to enter your PIN for smaller amounts.
And if you want to pay, you might hear a shop assistant say, "How would you like to pay?" And you can say, "By card, please," or "Contactless, please." Or if you are paying with cash, simply "In cash, please."
Cash is becoming less common in London, actually. Many places are now card only, particularly smaller cafes and market stalls. So it is always worth checking before you queue up.
Right, so let us do a quick vocabulary roundup before we go. Jimmy, I'll say the word, you say the meaning.
Go for it.
Bargain.
Something bought for less than its usual price. Great value.
Quid.
Slang for £1 British.
Marked down.
When a price has been reduced from its original amount.
Fitting room.
The room in a shop where you try on clothes before buying.
Receipt.
A paper or digital record of a purchase, always keep it.
Second hand.
Something previously owned by someone else, not new.
Window shopping.
Browsing shops or looking at items without buying anything.
Contactless.
A way of paying by tapping your card or phone without entering a PIN.
Brilliant. And on that note, I think it is time to wrap up today's episode. We have covered high street versus designer shopping, how to ask for help, how to return items, sale language, markets, charity shops, online shopping, and self-checkout. Not bad for one episode.
Not bad at all. And remember, the best way to practice this vocabulary is to actually use it. Next time you are in a shop, try using some of these phrases. Even something as simple as, "Excuse me, could you help me?" is a great start.
And if you are ever in London, do visit Borough Market for the food, Portobello Road for the vintage finds, and Oxford Street if you love a crowd.
Thank you so much for listening to English for Everyone. If this episode helped you, please subscribe and share it with a friend who is learning English. We will see you in the next one.
See you next time. Happy shopping!